It's definitely going to be a country in which he is welcome, one in which I think a lot of people will have high regard for him as a pontiff who is quite a different style to some of his predecessors, who's somebody who's talked about protecting the planet, about climate change, about migration, about the poor, and somebody who has, I think, helped to maybe soften some of the harder edges of Catholic doctrine, at least in what he has said, if not in terms of changes to doctrine itself.
You are this country's first openly gay Prime Minister. How big a deal is this for you personally?
Well, for me, as Taoiseach, as Prime Minister, really my role is to make sure that Pope Francis is welcome, that the events happen, and we've made sure that health and safety and security, that all of that works out as we've planned. But also an opportunity for me to meet with him, an opportunity for me to speak to him as well, and also to what I hope will be the opening of a new chapter in the relationship between Ireland, the Irish state and the Catholic Church.
But how do you reconcile the teaching of that church on homosexuality, considered evil by the Catholic Church, with the fact that you are a gay man and you are leading a country that has voted for same-sex marriage?
Well, first of all, I welcome the fact that Pope Francis has said that has raised that question, who am I to judge when it comes to these issues? And I think his statement in that regard would have come as words of great encouragement to lesbians and gay men and people who are bisexual who are also deeply Catholic. But I'm very much somebody who believes in a greater separation of church and state, and I believe in freedom of religion. And if you believe in those things, you have to respect the fact that the Catholic Church, other Christian churches, the Muslim faith, the Jewish faith, other faiths will have religious views that you don't like. But at the same time, you have to be willing to respect that.
You have a very short meeting with the Pontiff on Saturday morning. What will be the most pressing issue for you?
I think there'll be a couple of things. It's a very short meeting, only 10 minutes, and I don't want to skirt over lots of topics just to say that I raised them. So I'm going to try and use that time as best I can. The first is, of course, to welcome him to Ireland on behalf of the Irish people, on behalf of the faithful in particular. Secondly, to talk about my wish that we can open a new chapter in relations between Ireland, the Irish state and the Catholic Church, one that is more equal, one that is more respectful, and one that is more modern. And also, of course, I will want to talk about human rights issues and issues related to child sex abuse and the mistreatment of children and women by the Church and its institutions, often with the collusion of the state, we should bear in mind, in the past.
Taoiseach, you were born in 1979, the year of the last papal visit. Back then, no one was talking about the issue of the sexual abuse of children by Catholic priests. To what extent can the Prime Minister of any country put pressure on the Vatican for full disclosure on that issue?
Well, I think we can, and I think we have to. Things are far from perfect in Ireland when it comes to issues around child protection, but we have made a lot of strides in the right direction in the last couple of years. We don't, for example, have any statute of limitations when it comes to prosecuting people who are perpetrators of child sex abuse, and we've brought in mandatory reporting as of last year, and that's not the case in other countries. It's not the case in every country anyway, but I believe whether it's the law of the land or not, it's good practice and should be applied across the board by the Church all over the world, and they have the power to do that if they wish to do so.
Things have changed dramatically here in Ireland, but of course the Church still does have considerable influence in terms of education and hospitals. Do you envisage that changing anytime soon?
I think it will change. I think it should change, but I'm also not an extreme secularist either. I think that there is a role to play, a valuable role to play for religious bodies of all sorts when it comes to charitable provision, when it comes to welfare. We know about some of the wonderful organisations that are helping us deal with the homelessness crisis, and there are a lot of people who want to be able to send their kids to schools that are faith-based, and we need to find space in our society for that.
You almost mentioned it in an off-the-cuff way, not secularist. Does that mean you've got a personal faith yourself?
I brought up as a Catholic, so had my Holy Communion and my confirmation, and but was also brought up in a mixed race, mixed religion house. Neither of my parents are particularly religious. My mum's Catholic, my dad's Hindu, so I was always aware that there were other faiths and other belief systems out there, and I don't practice any religion at the moment, so I guess like a lot of people in Ireland, I come from a Catholic background, but I'm still searching for the truth.